Hello, hello, hello. My name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute RV Convos. Follow along with me as I hit the road to have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Amazing audience, you're hearing it live here. We are currently in Georgia with the amazing Trivinia. Is it Trivinia or Trivina?
It's Trivinia.
I remember the last time. Yeah, I had challenges with that. Trivinia. Trivinia. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, Trivinia Barber. She is amazing. She was episode 214, which puts that back as October the 13th, 2016 is when we actually spoke for the first time.
That's so crazy. I was just doing an Instagram story,
yeah.
Letting my audience know that you were coming here. And I said, I think it's been like a year and a half.
That's amazing, right? So, first off, she's going to tell us a bit more about herself. What's the update from then to now? When we spoke, you were running a virtual assistant company, right? You were putting virtual assistants with clients, which meant that you were serving two people, right? The client and the virtual assistant. Give us an update.
Yeah.
But first, let me shake your hand.
I'm so glad that we were able to make this work out and you were able to come. So my update is interesting. So back when we spoke in 2016, I was running Party VA, our virtual staffing company, but I also was being a virtual assistant, right? So I was really straddling the fence between being an entrepreneur and being a worker. And Todd Herman, who's a friend of mine, said something to me, interesting, January of 2016, I think it was. And he said, the thing about you, Trivinia, is you're never going to fully embrace being a CEO as long as you're still an employee for someone else. And it took me about a year to make that transition, but ended up quitting doing all client work myself. And now I run Party VA, what would be considered full-time, but honestly, I work about 6 hours a day, 4 days a week here, and I was able to update. Obviously, I was able to move from Denver, Colorado, where I lived when Engel and I first met, to Savannah, Georgia, and where we are today. It's crazy.
It's amazing, though. Yeah. It's amazing. It's beautiful coming out here, though. You're away. You're a hidden gem, aren't you?
We are. We're very. We're kind of tucked back in a little foresty area here. I was telling him when he arrived, I was hoping that we would see a snake so I could show him a Georgia snake.
You're hoping I see a snake? What? She says a good snake.
Yeah.
It's like, what? A good snake?
There are good ones here.
Yes, there are good snakes. So, all right, one of the things we wanted to unpack is your own unique real shoes.
Yeah.
Right? Which speaks to the journey you've taken to be where you are. There are challenges. There are people that look to your shoes and say, ooh, I love those shoes, but they dare not ask, what have you done in those shoes? What has that been like? So share with us, what has that been like in terms of the sacrifices to be where you are today?
Yeah, interestingly, I just did a talk on this in Austin earlier, and it was probably the most vulnerable talk I'd ever given, where I talked about the struggles of being an entrepreneur. And really, I was on this trajectory of chasing kind of the fast and the furious, right? The hustle that we were supposed to have as business owners, and it literally almost killed me. I mean, honestly, I was the unhealthiest I'd ever been. I was on antidepressants and anti-anxiety pills, and was working 16 or 17 hours a day, and really choosing my business and the hustle over my health, my mental well-being, my family, my children, and I have 4 daughters. And I remember at the end of 2015, my husband and I were at a New Year's Eve party, and my husband said, honey, so what'd you think of 2015? And I said, I missed it. I was in my office the whole year. I couldn't tell you a major event that happened. I could hardly tell you, what grade my kids were in, because I was so in my office all the time. And that was really a huge transition for me of realizing, I'm killing myself here in trying to grow this business for my family, right? And I think that's what we all do, is we have these well-intentions of we're doing this for our kids or for our family. And I ultimately almost destroyed them in pursuit of that. And so, it's those shoes are not all that, rosy as we often think they are. And so I had to end up sacrificing, I think, Engel, my desire to grow and scale for my own health. And instead instead of chasing the fast-paced lifestyle and chasing status, I decided to chase slow, which is why we moved out here to kind of the acreage and the farm and, all that kind of stuff instead.
Yeah. The guy we actually just interviewed, J.O., and he has a thing he says, it's okay to grow slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. How has it impacted your family life?
Oh, it's been so great. I can't even tell you. We walk out of here, so we have two kind of houses on this property, and I work at a house, and then we live at a house, which is great separation for me. And my mentally, like that calendar notification comes up that reminds me, okay, it's time to shut down for the day. And I walk out of here, and I'm like, wow, I still can't believe we live here. Almost every day I say that. And now, like, I play games with my kids at night. We're having a meal around the table, whereas literally my husband used to bring my dinner into the office.
Ouchie.
Yeah, it was hard. And so it's all changed. I mean, there's still hurdles, you guys. They're different now. My hurdles are, I get a lot of joy from work. I actually really enjoy it. And so when my kids are kind of being snotty with each other or fighting, sometimes I'm like, man, I could just go over to the office and work. Like, it's quiet over there. So the hurdles are different, but I so enjoy this life that we've created here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well done.
Thanks.
Well done. I'm proud of you.
I'm very proud of me too,
So
honestly,
important.
which was hard for me to say. It was hard for me to acknowledge that I needed to make such a drastic change in my life to get my life back.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Well, you're hearing it here live from Trivinia.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah, I got it?
Yes.
Boo. She's saying Engel, though. She doesn't know it's Angel, but I'm letting her.
Angel.
No, you can do it.
Shut up. No. God, we're going to start over.
Tell me, when you look back, right, was it worth it? The success, I say success is built on the foundation of failures. Was that equal this, and was it worth it when you look back now to see what you did then and where you are today?
Gosh, that's such a hard question. Yes and no. I say no, it wasn't worth it because there was a time where I took a whole mess of anxiety pills in an attempt to silence my anxiety, really, and which, I mean, obviously could be looked at as a suicide attempt. And so no, that was not worth it. No amount of success and 7 figures, yay, wasn't worth that mental struggle. Yes, it was worth it in the fact that, I would not have gotten to this point to be able to value my family as much as I do now, or value that idea of a slower pace of life. So, it's yes and no for me.
Yeah. Well, I'll switch it. I like to switch things, but I'll make it up a yes. I mean, it's not that everyone needs to do that, but I think there are many people now that you will be able to speak to with your story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that are going to that place, that are looking at your shoes and saying, hey, I want to wear those shoes. Now you can let them know, hey, this is not what you need to do, because you don't need to live that life, right? You can access a lot more and still have more.
There is a different way, and I definitely learned that in saying no, I actually got farther in my business than I did when I would just say yes to everything all the time, right? When I put in those boundaries that we teach our clients to put in, when I started doing that for myself, there was definitely an uptick in our revenue, in our well-being, in just the notoriety that our company was getting as well. So it's pretty interesting.
It's amazing. Tell people where they can connect with you. Where's the best place to go?
Yeah, so priorityva.com, and coming soon is trivinia.com, because I'm also working on a personal brand right now.
Yeah, which you'll be very good at. She's amazing.
Thank you.
Love that. So priorityva.com. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I think the biggest thing, guys, is, it's really kind of a moniker for our company, but I often tell people, like, don't do it alone, right? Because I think we are all trying to build whatever it is, and sometimes we can play martyr in our business, and that's actually what I did, and that's how I got to such a low point in our business and in myself. And so reach out, find a community, and find people who can encourage you and lift you up when you're struggling. I think that's the biggest thing, is just, you can't do this alone. It's too hard.
Yeah, we need people.
Yeah.
When you heard that this Caribbean guy is coming all the way from the Caribbean to meet you, what did you think?
I thought, well, there's no way he's going to come to Savannah. It's like, who lives in Savannah? And I was really excited, honestly, to be able to meet you and connect with you, because this is one downside, I think, of having an online business, is that it is rare.
Yeah.
You meet people from all over the world, but to be able to like sit next to each other and break bread and like look into your eyes and give you a hug, you know, that's so much fun. And so if you guys have the opportunity to get to hang out with this lovely gentleman, please do it. And make sure you follow him and connect with him online too.
I appreciate that. Trivinia Barber, folks. Check it out. Check that out.